Tomasi at the Boston Comic Con and wanted to chat you up a wee bit about Death of Superman, which, if I am correct, and I'm pretty certain I am correct, you had a hand in writing.
Yes, I did. I wrote the screenplay, received sole credit at the end. That is my name on the end of the movie.
Right, so who tapped you to write this story?
Alan Burnett, actually, producer at the Warner Brothers Animation, who I believe has retired just recently.
Right, did any of your previous work as an editor help you in streamlining the story?
I think being an editor always informs the way I write now for any kind of DC stuff, having the knowledge, the breadth of experience, you know, in the productions and the characters and the stories that have all come before always helps, always informs, you know, my abilities moving forward.
So who's Superman in this story? Because this is like Superman as we saw him in the comic with this particular story. We're introduced to this Superman in Justice League War. He's a bit more rough around the edges, and then we get to see him play out. He's had a relationship with Wonder Woman. So by the time we get to Death of Superman, who exactly is the character?
It's Superman. It's the new 52 Superman. It's playing with the current continuity of Warner Brothers Animation. So that was the job, stay in with the continuity, make sure it all worked with Wonder Woman and everything else.
How were we able to marry the new 52 with the previous storyline? Death of Superman is a very much beloved storyline. New 52, not so much in terms of the reception from readers. So how are you able to marry the best of both worlds in this particular story?
Well, one, I don't agree about the new 52. The actual sales went up. Actually, it was a pretty good. It was pretty well received. I know working on Batman and Robin did really well for me and Pat Gleason, but it wasn't difficult at all. I mean, aside from changing some of the Justice League members, it was pretty painless, to be honest with you.
Okay. What were some key components from the original story that you just had to have in the film?
Obviously, the fight with Doomsday was key, and it was just really important to make sure that Superman-esque cape is floating in the end on the stick.
So, how long did it take you to script the fight? That's
I don't remember specifically.
I think it's about a 15-minute fight.
Maybe at least. Yeah, it's a pretty big fight. Yeah, I can't remember how long it took me to script that actual sequence, but it took a while. I mean, I'm always one of those writers who, when I do action, I do like to put down a lot of important beats and things that I feel tie the action through, not just a time frame, but also logistically and location-wise.
Now we see that, without giving too much away, we see that this Doomsday has some abilities that weren't shown with the Doomsday who was first originated in the comics. Any reason for that?
Just to have some fun, really. Blow it out a little bit more, so to speak.
You also have a fight with Doomsday, a full-out fight between Doomsday and Wonder Woman. Anything? A lot of people feel that Wonder Woman is just a step behind Superman, and when it comes to this particular battle, how did you approach that?
I just knew Wonder Woman had to be really strong and give Doomsday a little bit of, you know, put him to the mat for a bit there, and so kind of show some just what Wonder Woman's got power-wise, and really show that, you know, she could cause some damage to Doomsday, but in the end, you know, the first superhero was the one that could take him down.
Now, the ending of the story it's very emotional. I myself, I had to fight him back. I'm not ashamed to admit it, and I think that's a testament to the writing. I also thought it was a very great testament to what you showed in the film of how much Superman means to people, not just in Metropolis, but across the world, and to people who are watching it. Anything that you tapped into to make that, I mean, it's really good. Anything that you tapped in to make that happen?
No, just my own heart, to be honest with you, just the way I think of Superman. I think, you know, it was really important for me to make sure that people got something emotional out of the death. I hate deaths in comics where it just feels like another death, another hero bites the dust. And with Superman having died, you know, obviously back then, and we just killed off the new 52 Superman a few years ago, it was important to make sure that, you know, this death in the movie, I wanted to make sure that I gave something that the audience would really, be a gut punch. And I think they really felt, after experiencing those scenes early in the movie between Lois and his relationship with the world at large, with Metropolis, and of course with the Justice League. So it was important to really solidify that relationship. So when he dies, you really felt it. And at the premiere in San Diego, it was a great experience because they were all laughing at the right moments, and a lot of sobbing and choking up was heard at all the right moments. So as a writer, I felt very, it was a great experience to be there to actually get a response, an immediate response from your material.
Something else I noted in the film was there's a dichotomy between, and this hasn't been done too often, but there's a clear dichotomy between Superman and Clark Kent. One of the things I did note is that we have Superman, and he has no problem introducing Lois Lane to his parents, even though they're virtual parents. But Clark Kent is very hesitant to allow Lois Lane to meet his parents. Was that intentional? A throwback to the Bronze Age stories where Clark Kent, Superman are different personas, or was that just something that was natural?
No, it was sort of natural. I mean, it was a sort of a key component in the story that you get across in that Justice League scene where Flash had obviously told Iris his secret identity before marrying. So it was important for me to know that he's not introducing her, or he's hesitant because he doesn't want Lois to be in peril. He doesn't want her to be, her health or her physical safety to be jeopardized. So he knows that once he introduces her to his parents, then that deepens everything, and that brings her closer into being a member of the family, so to speak, especially if he marries her. So it was really important to show that he cares so much for her that in his mind right now, he just thinks that keeping her at a distance for her safety is something he really wants to preserve.
Now, as much as I enjoy Death of Superman, I know people will be very interested in hearing about anything you have coming up. So I know you're working on the new Super Sons series. Aside that, and anything else you have coming up?
Super Sons just came out. Brooklyn Bridge came out in April. And Detective Comics is coming out in December with great art by Doug Mackey.
Which detective? You're taking over Detective Comics?
Yes, as of 9/94.
So you'll be writing Detective Comics 1000?
I will be.
So if you enjoyed Action Comics 1000, you have to join Peter Tomasi for Detective Comics 1000. I have to say I'm a little jealous. I wanted you to be exclusive to Action Comics, but we got to spread the wealth around, I suppose.
Absolutely. It's an honor and a privilege to be associated with the two 1,000 issues of DC Comics' Action and Detective Comics.
When they come out, I really want to see if there's anyone else besides you who's actually done double duty on those two issues.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there'll be one or two people, but it's pretty cool to be the lead writer on both at the same time.
Hey, thanks a lot. Peter J. Tomasi here at the Boston Comic Con. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.